Hi, it's Jen with Journey with Jen, and I am continuing my Liberty series today with Gunner. And today I'm going to be explaining each little move before you get to see it. And so this first little clip is what I call the figure 8, and it's a combination of a send out to the left or right, a hip yield, a draw, a change of directions, and then it repeats the other direction with a send. So see if you can put the pieces together and see the different parts, the different cues, and here you go. Backing the horse up from the tail, it's the same concept of the horse yielding to pressure, but it's physical pressure. Anywhere on their body, they should yield to the pressure and think about, gosh, what direction is my handler asking me to move, and yield to that. So with this exercise, I'm actually asking him to back up by pulling his tail toward me, and he should yield to that pressure backwards. A horse should yield to pressure, whether it's a physical pressure or an energetic push on their space bubble, whether it's the front end or the hind end or the broad side of the horse. If you're pushing on their personal space bubble, depending on the angle you're pushing on, that little space bubble should move either directly away from you or at an angle away from you. And so if you think of the horse as being in their own little personal space bubble, that's the idea that you want to keep in your mind at all times when you're doing liberty work, so that you can get the responses that you want. The forehand yield is a driving exercise. What I'm doing is I'm directing the front end away from me just with my left hand up. There's a whip in it. It's a visual cue. It's an extension of my arm. And when I lift that up and show him, okay, step away from this, specifically speaking to his front end, then he's going to move away from it. This next move is matching my energy. So my actual cue to my horse is my amount of energy. So I have a certain amount of energy that I give off when I want to walk, and then I get more energetic when I ask for a trot. And if I slow down quickly, he's supposed to slow down quickly with me. So this is a mirroring game, and he's not on the lead, he's wearing his halter, but he's matching my steps step for step. This next little move is just a tiny little invite that I do. And what I have him do is I basically put the whip up over my head and I back up, which is a drawing motion, and he will come in and duck underneath the whip. And this is basically coming in respectfully. And he gets a hug for doing that. You draw the horse by backing up, and you push on their space bubble standing in front of them, and they should back up straight. Backing up straight is a little tricky. It's a little more advanced, and so I kind of help my horse out a little bit by keeping my whip on my right side so that I can talk to the hip that tends to drift for him and kind of straighten him out by looking at that hip when I need to. I also use the fence on his opposite side, his right side, to kind of encourage him to back up straight and to set that pattern in place. I like to finish this exercise with drawing. So I will back up and draw him toward me just so I can measure the forward and the back and make sure that they're equal and I'm getting a good reaction when I ask for forward and back. One thing I just love to do, because I think it's kind of a fun dance move, is I like to pivot with my horse. So when I either lose him and he detaches from me and takes off, or I just want to get him to come in closer to me and stop drifting too far away, I will use this little pivot, and that is telling him to, hey, stay really, really close to me, stick to my right shoulder. And what I'm doing is I'm not looking at his front end at all. I'm looking at his hip, and I'm driving his hip away, which brings his head to me. It's kind of cool.
Okay. Alright, alright, alright. Okay, okay, okay. Alright, alright, alright.
Can I get some ranch dressing with that? I really hope that you try some Liberty work with your horses and that you comment here and share what you've learned so far. Also, you can comment on what cues work for you and what feels more natural to you, and share that so that others can benefit too. If you haven't sprouted your wings yet, you can borrow mine.